Yesterday we learned we're learning the Dvar Malchut, and we learned that Chanukah is the most special holiday of the Jewish year. And therefore, it's the only holiday that does not have, we're not commanded to eat a meal. Because a meal is minimum bread and water, and it's a holiday meal, so we have wine. And that corresponds to three aspects of the Torah, like everything in the world corresponds to the Torah. But bread and water, or any other beverage, that corresponds to the revealed Torah, the laws of the Torah, the wisdom of the Torah, the ideas of the Torah, the arguments of the Torah in the Talmud, etc. And also the midrash of the Torah, the stories of the Torah, the ideas of the Torah, the lessons of the Torah, even the what do you call it, the ethics of the Torah, right? What's good, what's bad, and even the secrets of the Torah. That's wine. Wine is the secrets of the Torah, the Kabbalah of the Torah. Says the Rebbe, that's all the other holidays. But Chanukah is oil. And oil floats above everything. And oil is talking about the secrets of the secrets, the essence of the Torah, the pure godliness of the Torah, and the pure godliness of the Jewish people, which is connected to the pure godliness of the Torah. Excuse me. And that's where the Torah and the Jewish people and God are totally one. That's represented by the holiday of Chanukah, oil. And oil, unlike wine or bread or water, makes light. And that's the whole idea of the Torah, is the more the Torah is here put into the physical world in order to illuminate the world with meaning. That's why, the reason why specifically in our later generations, that's Yud Tet Kislev, that's what was revealed in Chanukah. It was hinted at, but the actual oil of the Torah was revealed in a way that it could be digested, and it didn't have to be mixed with anything else like oil usually does. That was Yud Tet Kislev, 250 years ago, 200 years ago, when the first Rebbe of Chabad got out of prison and started writing the ideas of Hasidut in great quantity. The quality was always there. He wrote the book, the Tanya, 2 years before he was put into prison. But it was very, very terse, very, very, compact, the words. And he started explaining it in long terms. That's what we're learning in the morning. We just finished learning in Torah or the Kuti Torah, other and the Rebbe's after him. They took these ideas, which are called the secrets of the Torah. That's Hasidut Chabad. So that it would be understandable, the Havan of Hasaga, so that it would be understandable, and that we could actually use it day to day in our day-to-day life. It's called mitparnasim mimeno, that we actually are nourished from it. Why only now in our generation? Why wasn't it revealed? The Torah has been around for 3,300 years. Why only in the last 200 years has then been revealed this oil of the Torah? That's was revealed. That reason is the holiday of Chanukah, when the Greeks shigaber yoter achoshech, because when the darkness became deeper and deeper in the world. If you remember last week, we compared the darkness. The illustration of the darkness of the world was France. France was the ultimate darkness of the world. It was very similar to the Greeks. France, very similar to the Greeks, because it was a soul darkness. And another name for soul darkness is selfishness. You think the only reality in the world is me. That's called darkness. And I'm sure a lot of the people who watch this will say, well, that's the truth. That's what it is. It's only me. So you get to the degree where even the religions of the world are selfish. I believe because I am a sinner and I am going to go to hell and I am going to be pure and I am going to be saved and I am going to teach others and I am going to bring an I and I and I. Everything is I. Right? I want to go to heaven and I'm going to go to heaven. And all these things are true. You do go to heaven and all this stuff. This is all true. But that's not the main emphasis. The main emphasis is I don't care if I go to heaven or what. I want to serve God. I want to serve the creator of the universe. I want to do what the creator says. That was the oil of the oil. It's found only in the Torah. And that essence of God found only in the Torah is revealed only when there is darkness. Especially the overpowering of the wisdom, the external wisdom, which comes from the nurture that the Greeks got from the Torah in a way which was not good, mitgavris sakana. So therefore there was the danger. What was the danger? That the Jewish people would do the Torah. They would do the sacrifices in the temple. They would light the candles in the temple, but they would what? Not do it because God said. They do it because they wanted to. It was a good thing spiritually. It was beneficial. Lashkicham Torah techa, to make the Jewish forget that the Torah is your Torah, God. Lochin, therefore, that's real darkness. Lochin, therefore, yesh tzorech is necessary, begilui Hashemen, to reveal the oil of the Torah. Until shenasa davar is done, made a thing, shemuchrach kamazon, that you need it like food. Listen, the holiday of Purim, the Jewish people stood against Haman that wanted to kill them. Haman wanted to kill all of them. And it's true, he gave them a way out. He said, you can get out, just say you're not a Jew. But they all refused. They said, we're not, we see you're an evil person, you want to kill us. We're not going to do anything you want. That was Purim. We're even going to risk our lives. We're not even going to say we're not Jewish. We're not even going to say it. Because Haman was a bad guy. And we're going to give our lives not to be under him at all. And not be under him. But the Greeks were good guys. They were good guys, like Napoleon. He was a good guy. He was all for Jewish sovereignty. He wanted to make a country of Israel. He wanted to make the state of Israel. But it was for Jewish sovereignty and Jewish identity and Jewish freedom and Jewish productivity. And this, nice guys. But the point of the matter is, what about the Torah? What about God in this whole business? No, everybody has religious needs. The Greeks were religious people, right? I'm sure that Napoleon, he also appealed to God somehow or other. I'm not that expert in Napoleon. But in any case, for sure, he was not against religion. He allowed the Jews, they have complete freedom, etc. And so, but what he wanted them to forget, God. The Torah belongs to God. The Torah is unchanging. It belongs to God. The Jewish soul is unchanging. It belongs to God. Just like God is unchanging. That's what he wanted them to forget. Even in the earlier generations, was not given the permission to reveal the secrets of the Torah, just like oil. Oil is not fit for drinking on its own, and it even damages a person. Similarly, also in the last generations, the later generations, last 500 years, whatever, but the more the darkness becomes prevalent in the world, there is more and more secrets of the Torah revealed in a way of yafutzu ma'inatech chutza, that the wellspring should be spread out. So one of the big oppositions to Chassidut was because shortly before the Baal Shem Tov, like about 100 years, something like before the Baal Shem Tov, there came Shabbatai Tzvi. And Shabbatai Tzvi was a very evil person. And he was a very sinister person, whether he did it intentionally or because he was sick, whatever it was, but he was an evil person. He really believed what he was doing. I mean, he was an evil person, and he did sins, and he made everybody, and convinced everyone to do sins, and they should make blessings on the sins, and it would elevate the sins and everything like that. So that was like a new type of darkness. He said, "I am the Messiah," and people really believed that he was the Messiah. Right? When Christianity came along, so it was obvious that Yeshua was not Messiah. He didn't have any of the qualifications of Messiah whatsoever, none whatsoever. He changed the Torah. But when Shabbatai Tzvi came along, people thought maybe this is it. We have suffered so much. That was after the murders of Khmelnytsky and Khmelnytsky, which, by the way, interesting. I saw a coin yesterday from Ukraine. You know, there's a lot of Chabad in Ukraine. There was a lot of Hasidim in Ukraine. I saw a coin from like last year, and it had the picture on it. I can read Russian a little bit, and it says underneath, Bogdan Khmelnytsky. He's a big hero over there. Anyways, so Khmelnytsky, this was like, 450 years ago, something like that. He made a massacre. He massacred Jews. So afterwards came Shabbatai Tzvi, and everybody figured that this is the Messiah, this is the Moshiach, and he made a new type of darkness in Judaism, and he dashed the hopes of everybody from Mashiach. I mean, it was a whole new type of darkness that came into the world. So the people were suspicious of Baal Shem Tov. They thought it was going to be another Shabbatai Tzvi. But really, what's the fact? That because of the darkness, that Shabbatai Tzvi, may his name be wiped out forever, cursed forever, that because of the darkness that he brought, that was one of the reasons why Hasidut became revealed, in order to combat this darkness. Just like in the time of the Greeks, when the Greeks ruled, that was when the oil was revealed. For instance, a big example is in the time of the first Rebbe of Chabad, when there was what's called, no, I'm sorry. When there was not the first, when there was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad. When the fifth Rebbe of Chabad was in Russia, so there was founded what's called Mafitzi Haskala. There's what's called the intellectual movement. Essentially, that became really Zionism. When Zionism started to really take root, and what was Zionism? What was the whole idea of Zionism? Before Zionism, there was what was called the Enlightenment movement. Enlightenment movement, Lilienthal and these guys. Anyway, so their idea is to get Jews to stop believing in God, to be normal like everybody else. The Torah is a bunch of superstitions, and we're going to make everybody, come out of the darkness of Torah and commandments and start being like the enlightened and wonderful, Gentiles, which we see what came out of that. But anyway, okay. And eventually that it gained tremendous popularity. People were happy to be free from the Torah, and they were happy to be like the non-Jews and accepted, and marry whoever you want to and eat whatever you want to. But it wasn't really that firm. It wasn't added. So that's what Zionism came. Zionism came and said, we're going to put this idea of freedom, and first of all, we see it's not really working because there's still anti-Semitism. So we're going to make it into a country. We're going to make a nationality. And that was the group which was called Mafitze Haskala. They were the ones that were spreading out free thinking. As soon as that happened, this was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, the father of the previous Rebbe. That's when he made Tomchei Tamimim, the yeshivas of Chabad. It was a shiva that in it you learn B'hit Yashvut, that you can learn in a settled way, just like you learn Talmud, you learn anything, you can learn revealed Torah, and also Hasidut, the secrets of the Torah. Pure oil, not mixed with anything else, in a way Shachasirut Yavinu, that you can understand it, just like you understand an idea in law like the Shulchan Aruch. Nevertheless, there was even more added on by that was two Rebbe, the fifth Rebbe of Chabad. His son, so the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, he founded the yeshivas of Chabad. It's called Tomchei Tamimim. Now they're all over the world. After that came, and by the way, that is the antidote to Zionism. The Chabad says, what's wrong with Zionism? That it's bad for the Zionists. It's bad for the people who do it. They're Jews. They're trying to deny the joy and the truth of what Judaism is. Torah, God. What's the antidote to this? Teaching them Chassidut, getting ideas of Chassidut into the hearts of every Jew. That automatically will, you want to call, dispel Zionism. It'll transform Zionism to what it's supposed to be. Jews are supposed to live in Israel because God says so. It's from the Torah. It's a holy place. The Jews are holy people. But that you can only feel the holiness, really the holiness, the godliness. That's the whole idea of Chassidut. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Kabbalah Kadosh is Morichami, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, he's the leader of our generation. The Rebbe always said that I'm just a replacement of the previous Rebbe. I'm just until he comes back. when he founded the yeshiva Tomchei Tamimim and all the branches of it in the whole world, then Chassidut, then the Chabad was only in Russia and only in a few places in Russia. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, when he got out of Russia, so he added more yeshivas, even more, until this very day. But and also, this is the main thing, he spread out the teachings of Chassidut, chutza mamash, outward, by means of what? Translating. He translated the books of Chassidut and many ideas of Chassidut in the languages, in foreign languages. And by means of this, it became the completion of the revelation of the light of Hanukkah, which that was like 2,500 years ago, the light of Hanukkah that spread out, the light of the oil, that it spread out into the whole world. That's why it says there's one law in Hanukkah that you can put the Chanukiah on the entrance of your house on the outside. And it says you can start lighting it when ad the kalya ragla the Talmudaya, when there's no more Talmudai. Remember, learned that yesterday? I mean, there's no more rebellion against God. There's no more rebellion against God anymore. By means of this, what's going to end the rebellion against the God of Israel? What? The well springs of Chassidut will be revealed in Torah to Chassidut. The oil of the Torah will come in a way that it's spread out outward to the outermost regions of the world. Jews that don't know anything about, that's the whole idea of Chabad. What is motivating Chabad? Right? We want to make the movement bigger. We want to increase. No, that's not the point at all. The point is that every Jew is holy, and not every Jew knows it. And that the fact that every Jew is holy is a thing that every Jew, no matter who he is, has to reveal more and more and more. So the greatest genius tzaddik, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, has to work in order to reveal more of the fact of that he's holy. And the simplest Jew, the Jew doesn't even know that he's Jewish. He's sunk into the depths of who knows where. He's some bar room somewhere on the floor. Nevertheless, he is as much of a Jew as Moses is. He's holy. It just has to be woken up. And waking up the holiness of every Jew means waking up the goodness, the joy, the love, the health of the whole world. Hainu lo raksha shemen. That's the oil. So the oil of Hanukkah should be not only that it lights up your personal house, home, but even more that the well springs themselves, not just the light should go, but the well springs themselves should be everywhere. And in this case, the wellspring, is the Rebbe himself, to let everybody know that there is a Rebbe in the world. That's the idea of Moshiach. Moshiach is that there's going to be a Jew, that he is going to be the source of this inner godly light of the Torah, of every letter of the Torah. Just one moment. Hello. Okay, בסדר. עשר ורבע אני צריך להיות שם, עשר ורבע. Okay, בסדר, טוב. Okay. יש להוסיף בזה, excuse me, that's just I have to do something today. So יש להוסיף בזה, we can add on another thing, that the oil of the Torah of Hanukkah, which began nowadays, the oil is pure oil, is Yud Tet Kislev, that's Chassidut. The purpose of it is not only to combat and to transform the darkness of the world, Ella, be'ikr, mainly, because shaholchim, that we come closer to the Mashiach. In other words, it's not just you go to a doctor. His purpose is to make people healthy, right? Take away disease. What's the purpose of being healthy? That's not the doctor's job. The doctor's job is not to tell you what to do after you're healthy. It's just to take away the disease. The same thing in Chassidut. Chassidut is not just like a doctor that comes to remove the ignorance from the world, the darkness from the world, the selfishness of the world, the mistakes that the world is making, to remove all the bad things, the darkness. The main thing of Chassidut is to bring Mashiach, to tell you what to do when the darkness is not there. The whole idea of Mashiach is oil. The Mashiach is called Mashiach because he is anointed, Mashiach, Meshuach, Mashiach b'Shem, and he is anointed with oil. Oil, it says, Shemen Kodshi Meshachtiv. It says, with the holy oil, I have anointed him. It's a sentence in Psalms. Anointed him with holy oil. Ba'al Yado, by means of that, the main revelation of oil, the secrets of the Torah, will come from the Mashiach. Because it says Mashiach is going to teach, so this is the language of the Maimonides, Sod Tamei Umistar Tzfonoteha, the secrets and the reasons and the concealed mysteries of the Torah will be revealed until Sheba'oto Zaman, in the time of the Mashiach, Lo Ye'esek Kol Olam, the world will only be interested in Dat et Hashem Bilvad, knowing God alone. You see how interested people are nowadays in just ideas, right? People go crazy just for ideas. People watch their cellular phones all the time to watch movies and things. It's just ideas in their mind. A lot of them are pointless. They're false. There's cartoons about things that the characters aren't real and the plot isn't real and nothing is real. And you know that it's not real, but it's interesting. The idea interests you. It says in the future, people won't be interested in images anymore. They'll be interested in reality. Reality is much more interesting than images. Nowadays, it seems that what's reality? Reality is nothing. It's the most boring thing in the world, right? Sitting and looking at the sky or something, they'll think you're crazy, right? You have to be looking at your cellular phone. That's a normal person, right? It says in the future, it won't be that way. In the future, we'll find meaning and interest in every detail of life and will be active. When a person is watching the cellular phone, he's passive. It neutralizes you. You forget who you are. In the future, everyone will feel who they really are. You feel the potential you have to do good. Right? You can be in a room watching the cellular phone. Nobody cares about anybody else. It's like everybody's dead. Right? Dead people. Nobody cares about anybody else. Right? You're just occupied in their own whatever spiritual, whatever it is, conundrums, whatever they're doing up there. Same thing. People watch. It's like everybody's dead. You just like. I was in Japan once. I was talking about Japan. The whole train. You have a whole train. Everyone is just sitting there. Or there's some people that are sitting. Some people do things. They said, they're playing games. Some people playing games. But the games that they're playing have absolutely no result whatsoever. I don't know how it works nowadays. I understand there are certain things you get points, you get money. But the point is that people forget who they really are. People forget who other people are for sure. You're only thinking about yourself. It says in the future, it says the whole occupation of the world will only be to be knowing what God is. God will be so real, so happy, so valuable, and so dynamic that everyone will be interested every moment to do whatever God wants, say whatever God wants, think whatever God wants, care about others. How much more so the Jewish people? The Jewish people, it says, Maimonides says, that the whole world will be occupied in knowing God. And the Jewish people will be tremendous, wise people, knowing secret things and understand a knowledge of God as much as a human being can. Namely, that the main learning will be in the secrets of the Torah. The oil. That's what the whole world will be occupied in. And therefore, the more we get closer to the Mashiach, there's more and more oil. Secrets of the Torah. That's why Chassidut Chabad is revealed right now. That this is the whole tasting the taste of the Mashiach. The Yesh Lomar, we can say, Shit Karvut Biat Mashiach, that the coming closer to the coming of the Mashiach is the reason that there's more and more darkness in the world. Why? That because of there's more holiness, therefore there's also more darkness is revealed. The Yesh Tzorich Lilachom, therefore they have to, the darkness gets aroused. Right? It's like you stuck your stick into the lion's lair. What's it called? The lion's den. Lion's den. This is the idea of Yilchem Mechamas Hashem. That's what it means, that the Mashiach will fight the battles of God and he will be victorious. Listen, there's a lot of evil in the world, a lot of bad stuff in the world. And the whole idea, the more Mashiach gets revealed, the more the bad also starts raising itself up. Up to now, for instance, you thought universities, I learned in universities. What's university? Either you learn stuff or you have fun. You learn stuff in the university, whatever your subject is, and you have fun at night. There's big parties. That's what university is, right? It's not so bad. It's such a bad thing, universities. And you want to be a religious Jew, you be a religious Jew. It doesn't oppose, right? Little did anybody know that the essence of universities is to teach that God doesn't exist. That's the essence of universities. They don't teach anything about morals, about what is good, what is bad, how a person should act, the value of life. No, nothing whatsoever. But you could get by. Now, all of a sudden, now in our generation, right, all of the universities are standing up. You have to teach woke teaching. There has to be gender changing and identity being, and you have to be this, and black is white and white is black, and it's a very big difference. It's the most important thing in the world. What color of a skin you've got. If you got like this, if you're white, you're bad. If you got this, now all of a sudden but one thing everybody agrees on: the Jews are bad. The Jews are bad. No, the good. Who are the good guys? The Hamas. They're the good guys. You see all the wonderful things they've accomplished and the wonderful contributions they made to mankind and everything. What's the contribution? They kill people and they behead people and they rape people. Wonderful people, nothing better than that. They burn babies. This is the ideal man. This is the ideal man. Hamas, we have to fly their flag and we have to fight their battles and we have to wear their keffiyahs. We have to because this is so all of a sudden in the universities is revealed, coming to the top, pure evil that you never thought existed. And it was always there. It was like the bone marrow of the universities was selfishness and egotism and destruction and death. And true, there were some good things. I mean, there were doctors, but now the doctors know that men can give birth to children. Suddenly, all of a sudden, everything, the United Nations was supposed to, they're all against Israel, right? And even in Israel, right? And even Israel, the left of the, all of a sudden, all the bad is floating up to the top, and they're proud of it. They're proud of it. And the reason is because they're opposing Mashiach. More and more in Israel. 2 days ago, I appeared in front of an Air Force base. I spoke to them. I played guitar. Me and another person, I sang a couple of my songs and this. The appreciation, how they appreciated and how they danced and how they were happy. Even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the Air Force, especially Israeli Air Force, they were all very anti anything to do with religion. They were very, very leftist, super leftist. You couldn't go into the super superior people that they were. Then the people who are religious are just they're the lowest of the lows, and they're destroying the country. Now it's all changed. It's all changed. The whole thing has changed just in a course of a few years. It's all changed. They appreciate religious people coming, and they're all singing Am Yisrael Chai, and the whole thing is changing. So on one hand, the bad is raising its head. And on the other hand, the good is becoming stronger. And the stronger the bad is, the more good there is. And the more good there is, the more bad there is. That's the idea of Mashiach, that he will fight the battles of God. The Indians said this is especially stressed in Hanukkah, that the whole idea of Hanukkah is, in addition to the miracle of the oil, which that's connected to the Mashiach, it was also 8 days. 8 days, the number 8 is connected to the Mashiach. It's known that there was what's called the 8 anointed men. We talked about that. And it says also the lute, the harp of them in the days of the Mashiach will be 8 strings. And also that's the idea of Yud Tet Kislev. Yud Tet Kislev was the beginning of spreading out the ideas of Hasidut all over the world. That's just like a few days before Hanukkah. That in this depends the whole idea of the coming of the Mashiach. Like the Mashiach said to the Baal Shem Tov, when will I come? When your teachings are spread out. The revelation of teaching of Chabad by means of the first Rebbe of Chabad and Yud Tet Kislev, when he got out of prison, he started writing the ideas of Hasidut in tremendous quantity. It came more and more through the generations, in all the 7 generations of the Chabad Hasidim, especially by founding the yeshivas of Tomchei Tamimim, which those are the soldiers of the house of King David, that they go out to war to defeat the darkness of the world. That says Asher Chirfu Ikvas Mashiach, those who have defied or opposed the heels of the Mashiach. That's what King David says in the Psalms, right? And what is it? Oh, it's in the 89, right? 89, yeah, it's 89, the end of 89. Ulahavi, to bring actually the revelation of David, King David, the King Mashiach, and especially in our generation, that's already been finished. Everything we had to do, all of the work that Jewish people had to do as a whole has been finished. We've suffered enough. We've prayed enough. We've worked enough. Tzorich, Rak, all we have to do is just open up the eyes and see that, behold, Mashiach is here, says the Rebbe. And this is connected to this week's Torah portion, as we'll explain, God willing, tomorrow.